is up, everybody? Welcome to the season finale of the Horns Forward podcast, um, post championship edition. How's everybody feeling today?
Blink, 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 blink.
The silence
Living,
speaks loudly. Yeah, the silence.
Look,
living the
Yeah.
dream,
I
baby.
am so tired. I didn't put makeup on. I was like, nope, nope. This
Yeah,
season has worn me out, but
I feel you. I
I-
feel
I'm
you.
I'm
It's
also in
been
the
worth it.
process of trying to share to the other socials. So
Yeah, no, I mean honestly though, it's been a great season
hmm
overall. I mean, just the experiences that we've had, I feel we can all agree that it's been just meeting new people, meeting getting close to players and their families and getting to know them on a personal level. Again, same thing that we echoed from last season. This is something that is very unique. I mean, it was to the XFL, now the UFL.
hmm
But I feel like even more so in San Antonio, uh, just because that's how we are. I mean, we're a very community oriented city and just a group, and that's something that I think a lot of people are always still surprised about. But hey, it's year two of the same story, different chapter. And even one of the cool things that I want to just shout out is over the weekend on the way up. Just so that the world out there knows, I was able to actually connect with a few people from Barcelona that cover the UFL over there, and they want to spread awareness of the league. And they have their podcast. Obviously, it's in Spanish. And just want to say to them, Visca el Barça, and thank you for covering all the way in Europe.
Heck yeah.
very cool.
Thank you. Gracias. I don't know. They
Oh,
say that too in Barcelona.
yeah. And if you want to follow them, Instagram, it's called Mundo UFL. Go give them a follow. Definitely good to just help them grow.
hmm
Because the more that we can grow everywhere, not just here in the U.S. but worldwide, Latin America, Europe, everywhere. Like let's keep on growing this monster. And if we can help our friends from Europe do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, how about we even just before we get into game chat and everybody's ups and downs from it, let's talk about our trip up
Yeah.
because that was fun. So, I know some of you guys may or may not have seen pictures, but we rented a very bougie Sprinter van. Shout out to Hawk Vans. If you guys ever need a rental, Sprinter rental, they're your people. You can follow them on Instagram also. But we had a nice little Mercedes Benz Sprinter. 11 of us went up,
hmm
and for the 14, what is it, 14 half hour drive?
Yeah. I
Ooh,
mean, it
It's
was.
it was long.
yeah. It depends on how you do it, but normally it's spec'd out at about 13 and a half to 14 hours.
Mhm.
Ours took a little bit longer, obviously, because we were in a Sprinter van. Isn't going to move like your normal passenger vehicle is, right? And you've
Mhm.
got a little bit more, at least for me, I'm definitely biased. I had a lot of precious cargo in that
Mhm.
van. And so it took us a little bit longer. Our stops took a little bit longer because everybody really needed to get out and stretch. But I mean,
I think our
overall,
stops took longer because of Clayton.
well, I mean that could be too, right? Especially that one at that Casey's.
With
That
Oh
one
Lord.
Tiny and Cletus.
that one took a
Do
little
the
while.
voice. Do the voice.
Hey
Hey,
Tiny,
hey, Cletus, let's go get the
what you
family.
doing there?
Hey, you know what? I kind of needed some Tiny and Cletus today because unfortunately, on the way up to drop off the van this morning, I did get into an accident where an 18-wheeler tire did explode and the tire debris hit my vehicle while we were taking up the Sprinter van. Thankfully, I'm okay, but my vehicle is not. I just got Brahma 5 back. What was it? Friday? And I
hmm
today was the first trip up, and it's back in the shop again. Thank you, life.
Yeah. Well, and setbacks, but universe kind of has a way of balancing things out, right? We
Yeah.
had, even though it was not a great game, I think we had an incredible time. We had a wonderful experience. Everybody that, you know, kind of saw our antics and everything this weekend, you guys know I brought my daughters up. What's up, DJ?
Yo.
I brought my daughters up with me because, you know, they were with us in St. Louis for the game that we lost, and I was hopeful that we were going to get this win, and so it was really nice to have them around. That wound up being, you know, kind of one of my highlights of the trip, is just having my family around my football family and just being able to share that experience with all of you guys. And it was, I mean, it was just awesome. So again, universe kind of has a way of balancing everything out. So don't look at the negatives of today. Look at the positives from this weekend. All the fun, all the memories, the pizza, the show we got to see in our wonderful Airbnb. Thanks to Jackie for locating that for us.
The loft on, yeah, that was fun. Again, Clayton had a wonderful view of whatever, you know, of the ladies of the night.
And we should probably talk about that too. So
ladies of the Lou.
Ladies of the Lou.
Jackie found us this incredible Airbnb loft. It had 4 bedrooms, a huge game room with pinball tables, a full bar, pool table, little entertainment area with a couch and a TV, 2 bathrooms. I mean, this thing was phenomenal. It was an incredible find.
It was fun. It was a nice spot.
We get there, we unload, everybody kind of claims their room, and we're setting up, right? Because I mean, it's already pretty late at night. When we pulled up, there were a couple of people that are outside like barbecuing, and we're like, what's going on here? Turns out that Jackie found us a loft in one of the hot spots in St. Louis for nightlife. We're literally overlooking a plaza where like there's all this craziness, right?
It's all lowriders. There's like a car show, a drag race, like
a nightclub
next to it. Like, it was wild.
Yep.
Wild.
It was 100% on. And this place was like a block from the soccer stadium. So if you guys are into soccer and you're looking for a place to go, man, that loft was the bomb.
Yeah.
100% worth it.
It was definitely.
And the best part is I think that whole building was set up with like Airbnbs for people to just go and party.
Yep.
Because I know I saw different people coming in and going out.
Oh,
you know? But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun for sure. Going, even just the trip alone, just bonding with everybody and hanging out at the loft. It felt like just a big family for sure.
Yes. Oh, and man,
I do.
Brahma Bros even on
want
tonight.
To say before we go too much into it, Jackie, just thank you for the entire season, Jackie. Like
you're welcome.
Setting up travel, setting up Airbnb for all the Bulls on tour, everything. I mean,
I gotcha.
This was all you. I mean, we had an awesome season, a whole lot of fun, and I mean we became like just even closer as a family. And honestly, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for everything.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope people see how much fun we had, so that next season, when that charter bus comes around, they don't miss out.
Yeah,
because
that's 2 years in a row we've tried it, and people are always like they back out last minute, and it's like, hey, y'all missing out. And I feel like the people that traveled up to the championship game, you know, they saw, if that was their first away game experience, they saw how San Antonio parties at the away games, you know, because you know, let's be honest. I mean, at the tailgate for a little while there, it was, I mean, every single team was represented at the championship, which was awesome. You know, 2 years in a row, every single team. And there was one particular spot that people were gathering around that was pretty popping. You know, it was cool to see a fan of every single team in one single spot, and it all revolved around tacos. So,
well, and I think it's important to mention also that we had fans that don't even have a team in the league anymore, right? We had Sea Dragons fans there.
Sea Dragons were next to us.
Yep, I know our friend that's been coming to the San Antonio Brahmas games, who's a Vegas fan. He was there at the championship game. I could not find him, but he was definitely there. Um, I mean, everybody was represented.
Oh, I saw an
you know,
Orlando
including-
Guardian shirt. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, you know, there's teams that aren't even playing that are still being represented because people still love the XFL and now by default the UFL. I believe I know there were Houston fans there, so there was some
Yep.
UFL representation. There were Michigan fans there.
Football fans.
Even
Showboats.
A Showboat
Memphis was
guy.
there. Hmm.
They
Right.
all was there.
it should have been our guy Jeremy. I wish he could have made it, but
Oh, that would have been dope.
that would have been so dope, man. That would
Yeah.
have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course there were the ponies that were there.
Boo.
Yeah, everybody was there. One thing I kind of liked, and I didn't see the footage until today. Kurt Warner was out on the field warming up with his son Cade Warner on
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Yep.
yeah,
That's
What a way to spend Father's Day.
that's pretty awesome. So
Yeah. But let's get to tailgating because even us, we stayed up late. Myself and if y'all know Brittany Daggett, her and I stayed up, and with the help of Izzy, she helped top off my Jello shots. But we even brought Jello shots. We tried to make it as much of a home tailgate as possible
Yeah.
for us. I will say I didn't get to tailgate very much because it was hot. Like when I say we bring the heat no matter where we go, we bring the freaking heat. Like
Yeah.
it was like an oven. Like I was dying.
It was like a regular
Yeah, it was
tailgate
like a
here.
regular, except I didn't have my spot where I normally sit. I
Yeah.
didn't have a fan. I didn't have my TV. So I think 90% of the time I sat in the Sprinter
yeah.
drinking like water and IV liquids because it was
Mhm.
so. I was red from
Yeah,
just
it
being
was-
out there. I was like shaking at one point, like, "You guys want a Jello shot?" My whole thing's all shaking.
In St. Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It was
Wow.
miserable,
Yeah.
bro.
it was
93,
just
and I
as
think
hot
the
up
heat
there as it
index
was down
like,
here that day. Right.
Yeah,
the weather
heat
was the
index
same.
was like one something.
Yeah.
It was
What is
wild.
that humidity plus humidity?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
would
Oh,
think
okay.
think of it like the last home game that we had where it was really hot. We were out in the
Mhm.
Alamo Dome. That it was that kind of hot up there. You know, it
Mhm.
was like I couldn't wear my whole traje like I had been the past 2 weeks
Mhm.
because it would have been dangerous to do so.
Yeah.
Wearing a wool suit outside out there and being in front of a hot plancha where I was cooking too. So yeah, definitely
Mhm.
not.
Yep.
I mean, it was. I mean, I'm used to it, but for those who aren't, yeah, it could be dangerous.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That is for sure. But I know you guys got to enjoy more of the tailgate, so you can probably speak more to like what it was like there. Obviously, it wasn't like when we played St. Louis and there was Tent City.
Right.
It was much smaller this time, obviously. But I mean,
Yes,
a
it
lot
was,
of
Jesse.
yes, swamp water hot. So I think it just I don't know. You guys could talk a bit more about it, like what you guys saw out there, and because, like I said, I
Oh.
stayed in the Sprinter.
Yeah, I can definitely talk to that because I had kids to chase after and
Yeah.
people to go visit all over the place and everything. It was like a much more scaled down version of the game that we played 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
right? When we went up to play St. Louis. It was like maybe an eighth to a tenth of what we're used to for our tailgating, but there were definitely a bunch of people around.
Yeah.
Everybody was cooking something. Everybody had something to offer. Even the special libations in that tent that we don't speak about here in Texas, even they were doing stuff. Which, by the way, I forgot to go over there and get my.
I know some
supply
of y'all
for
did
you.
not get me no payment.
Yes. So, no, I'm gonna have to figure that out when we go back. Again.
Come on.
Get you like double
I
dose.
know-
Brian, I can't
know
even hear
who,
you.
I know who paid me.
Yeah.
Even the Daggets paid me.
Yes, I did not. So I'll have to give you financial compensation. But again,
No.
so I was walking around, talked to a bunch of people, right? Got to see Excalibur, got to talk to some of the bottlenecks were out there. The main guy that I remember, we didn't see him until inside. But the funny thing I found was that a lot of people that we were talking to, everybody was saying go Brahmas, right? And so there were a lot of St. Louis fans that, and we'll get back to that in a little bit. I'm trying to set up your platform.
Yeah,
for later.
we're
Okay?
setting it up.
Um,
Dang, we
there
got
were-
water.
there were a lot of people
I know,
that
man.
said go Brahmas, and it wasn't
Crazy.
just Battlehawks fans. Like we ran into our DC friends, which they definitely backed us. But it was like a normal tailgate, just a lot smaller and a lot hotter, right? Everybody seemed to be, excited that we were there, excited that it was the championship game. A lot of shade, if you will, was thrown towards Birmingham. Everybody was telling us, you guys got to beat Birmingham, just because they need it. They need to be humbled, blah, 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 whatever.
Oh yeah, go ahead, DJ. That's exactly how we felt. This is literally how we were. No, let's go into the next part where some of us got to go pregame.
Do that,
which we weren't expecting.
Why don't you guys take that part?
Go ahead, Jorge, because you're the one that made it happen for the original 8 from Memphis.
Yeah. So this was a very special and unexpected invitation from the GM's family, Mark Willibridge, his wife Stephanie, and their son Wyatt. Wyatt actually reached out to me directly and asked if we'd be interested, and I was like, yeah, 100%. And so shout out to little Wyatt. He rocked that sombrero. He rocked that sombrero with pride. And
I think I saw him on the Jumbotron too. They showed him.
Yeah, and they had
he was.
I got a picture today from his mom. He hung it up in his room. So he's puro San Antonio for life. That's just how it. He's one of us. And it's gonna be sad not seeing him, but we'll see him again next year. It's all good. I can guarantee his dad has the job security here for sure. Once we were on the field, it was all players' families. It was a friends and family type deal, but we weren't related to anybody there. We were the friends, I guess, of the group. But while we were down there, everybody already knew about the Memphis 8, like that we like to call the original 8 people that traveled to the away games that weren't family members. That very first trip in Memphis back in April. And while we were down there, it didn't feel like we were outsiders. It didn't feel like we were like, what are those people doing here? No, it was like we felt like family. Like everybody was hanging out with everybody, saying what's up to the players, saying what's up to their parents, talking families between families, and then with us, and like we were included with it. And that's something that I think it really shows an embracing of the culture by players, families, the players buying into the San Antonio family first mentality. And a big credit to Mark Willibridge, who kind of built that culture from the front office side of things, and then also Wade Phillips as the head coach. It starts from the top, and they're the two at the top, and they really embraced the way we like to do things and approach things in San Antonio, and let themselves get immersed in how we are as a city, as a community. And I think that was the most incredible thing. And being able to do that at a championship game, it was like, I was like, pinch me, like this can't be real. Like I didn't think that I'd ever do that with a professional football organization. And here I am being invited by the top dogs, and getting to share it with other people who I've shared this season with, and just being able to just celebrate it all as a family. It was honestly, it brings chills to me. Like I get goosebumps just talking about it, because it was that incredible of an experience just to be that close, but not just be that close, but also feel like I belong here. We belong here. And getting that same sentiment echoed back to us, like, yeah, y'all are one of us.
Yep.
It was incredible.
So real quick, because we're giving kudos, right? Because this is kind of our, wrap the entire season up. Jorge, I want to thank you for setting that up and allowing my two daughters to go in place of myself so they could experience that on-field experience. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, man. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's
Yes, thank you.
I'm just glad that we were able to make it happen, and it's memories that will last a lifetime.
I
Well,
hope so.
I will
'Cause-
say too is that I was lucky enough to give Coach and John Trey their BYOJ cartons. So that was fun for me, for sure. But how about we get into this game?
Let's do it.
I'd rather not.
Oh Lord.
No, I think we need to.
Okay, well,
let's do it. I mean, DJ,
I'd like
you
to
know,
hear something from DJ.
yeah. I mean,
No,
you saw it
yeah.
TV from a TV perspective. So
I was jumping right into that. Yeah, we talked about it before. Like the I guess the visuals from watching it on TV opposed to actually being in the game. Of course, being as though we had 5 home games here, I was able to see all 5 home games here in San Antonio. But then when I get home, I always watch it back because there's a lot of stuff that we don't see when you watch it live. Then when you watch it back, and you be like, "Oh shoot, I didn't catch this," or "I didn't catch it," because I know y'all didn't catch the Cheese Tabor uniform violation. Nobody put that in.
No, I mean, we saw him go off.
Yeah,
we didn't know why.
On a replay, yeah. So, but watching it, man, probably. I mean, obviously the score shows it, but probably one of the worst showings that we had all season, man. It was just like like I said on Facebook, I feel like we just folded, man. Nothing was going for us. We couldn't move the ball offensively. Defense played they butts off, but it's not that much you can do with a high-powered. Playing against the number 1 offense, so it's not that much you can do against a high-powered offense and not getting the amount of rest you need because the offense not moving the ball. At first when I was going to talk about after the game, I'm glad we didn't have a podcast after the game because I could have went crazy. But after calming down and then actually recuperating and looking back at it, I'm just like, man, in all actuality, we did better than I expected. I mean, obviously we wanted us to go all the way and win the whole thing going into the season, but coming from what we looked at like last year, 3-7, and then coming back, going 7-3, going to the championship game, I can't be nothing but proud of them, to be honest. But I'm just, I think I'm so upset about how we played in the championship game, man. To only put up 0 points.
Definitely. I mean, this last game definitely kind of. I don't want to put the entire season in a bad light because of the way this game went. Obviously, I mean, we sucked. This game was terrible. By far the worst game we've played all year. But it does not put a damper on the entire season. This season was fantastic. We got where nobody thought we were going to go. But yeah.
Started from the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, when you're picked to finish last and you finished second overall, I mean, that's still pretty damn good win in my book, especially considering we had a head coaching change, big old front office turnover, and nobody believed in us in the entire season. Even going into the championship game, people still slept on San Antonio. Granted, the championship game, it was warranted, I can understand now, but it was overall, I mean, it was a heck of a season. Yeah, cool. Birmingham went 11-1 this season. We were the one. We were the one. And were we supposed to be the one? Absolutely not. But we were. And it was one of those things that nobody but us believed in ourselves. And that was something that was, I love to be able to see firsthand Brahma fever just overload or just come over the city for this past couple weeks, the city has been painted yellow. Everyone was cheering on the Brahmas. We got the city government. All the city services, businesses, everyone. You go to HEB, you wearing a Brahma shirt. People are like, hey, yo, vamos Brahmas, orange forward, all that stuff. And it's nice to be able to see that versus last year when people were like, what is that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I was actually at the gym a couple of days ago and was working out and saw a guy across wearing his Brahma shirt. Gave him the head nod and he looked over at me, kind of one of those gym, like, what are you looking at me for looks. Gave him the horns forward and he was like, yeah, right. Last year, never would have had that.
They would have been like, you mean this? Just like,
yeah.
One of the things I did want to point out was, and I know people was killing Garbers, man, but I just want to point out the inconsistency of the quarterback play, man. To me, I just feel like I didn't even care who got in there. It just didn't looking good at all. Like, and then the run game wasn't there. We couldn't run the ball.
It was like last year's team. That's what
I don't know what was going on with John Lovett. I don't know why he wasn't in there.
Literally, if you would have, like, I was literally telling the guys this earlier. Like, when I looked over and I looked at these three faces, I've never seen them so disappointed before. Like, it's like we were all flabbergasted. Like, all of us, like, what is this team?
at
Yeah,
all
like,
this year.
I had no idea what this was. Like,
Yeah.
no, and even speaking beforehand to coaches, players, all that, they were hungry. They were ready. They wanted this. They really wanted this. No, let me talk on the ones that I can speak on.
Yeah.
But the ones that I had spoken to, they wanted this. They heard about how we do Riverwalk parades for champions here. And they're like, we've heard about that. We want that Riverwalk parade. And so trust me, like they were hungry going into this. Ultimately, when push came to shove, like offensively, it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And Birmingham was ready for the run. I think it was something that they knew that it was going to come, especially when we had, all three monsters there in the backfield between McFarland, Lovett, and Ellison. That's a three-headed monster that is difficult to stop in general, but it was they were ready for it, and then our passing game did not help out to open up the run game at all. And because of the weakness there in the passing, we kind of had to become one-dimensional for what they were prepared for. And then from there it became quicksand, because if you remember, the defense was holding. They held Birmingham to 8 points for the first half.
Yeah.
They worked their tails off.
But the defense can only do so much.
There you go.
The offense has got to put up, back up the defense, and the defense couldn't do it all by themselves. And unfortunately, the offensive production just wasn't there. It started to show a little bit of signs of life at the very end, but at that point, you're playing with a team that time's running out. The score gap's getting wider. We got that goose egg up on the board still. And it's easy to fall into quicksand. And I think that just looking at the play on the field, between sliding short and then like falling backwards and running into blockers and stuff like that, just make drop pass, like making like small little mental mistakes like that, it all just kind of added up into this quicksand where it just kind of just kept on just getting a little worse, and then before we knew it, the game was over.
Yep.
I do want to feed off of the setup from earlier. This is only my opinion. This is not for everybody, but I'm going to say what I have to say because it does eat at me, especially how we were treated at tailgate with a lot of love and support and this and that. And then when the game actually started, how unfortunate it was for, I won't say all of Battlehawk fans, because the ones that were at the tailgate that literally hung out with us the few, like Wayne, Dirty and their crew,
Toby.
My frenemy.
Toby, our frenemies, like there's
Yeah.
Excalibur. There was quite a few that are our friends that were truly supportive of not only side but was hoping that the Brahmas would stop. And then the second we got in there and immediate boos for our team, it was wild. And this was the entire game. The entire game. The amount of hate that Battlehawk fans that were present showed was just I was kind of flabbergasted. Because I get it. You know, the whole past week, once they lost the conference, they were quick to start selling their tickets. Fine. But St. Louis cried and begged for a championship there. That doesn't entitle your team to be at the championship. That just means you get to be a host.
They cried and begged, saying, "We'll show up. We'll pack with 40,000, even if we're not there." You know?
That's all they bragged about was attendance. Yep. Your attendance. But you guess what? When it came down to it, it was very salty fans that felt very entitled that their team should be in it. And I get it. Like, as much as our players may have came at them, the fans came at them too. Our players should have done better and not let it get under their skin and, you know, say whatever they said to fans back. But at the end of the day, you guys wanted a championships. And for the few that were our true friends and stuff, you were terrible hosts. Unfortunately, terrible. And I'm sad that you guys wanted it so much. And again, my opinion only, you don't deserve another championship in your stadium.
Period.
You are not good hosts because even when we didn't even make the playoff, you did not see one of our Brahmas fans selling those tickets. We were going to support the league. Period. We showed up. We showed up in our Brahmas gears and we hosted you guys. We fed you guys. Maybe we weren't with your team. We had, you know, it's still all XFL at that point, but we hosted and we showed up. And that was not what we felt in St. Louis at all. And it just really, it really surprised me and it made me really sad. I will say there was a couple Battlehawk fans that in the seats in the section right next to us, there was one, like, especially towards like third quarter, maybe when he saw us all sitting down, like we were defeated. He literally said, "Hey, Brahma fans, get up, stand up, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep cheering for your team." And I said, "You know what? You're right." So I stood up and I turned to all the guys and I said, "Let's keep cheering. It doesn't matter. Let's just keep doing what we do. I understand we're down, but let's just keep fighting for our guys too." And I appreciate that Battlehawk fan telling us that, you know, like, get up, stand up. But for the rest of them,
what about y'all? The rest of y'all experiences in the dome.
So, you know, I know exactly what Jackie's talking about. We had a lot of, I say a lot. We had some people, some Battlehawk fans that were that were truly there to support us, to kind of root for us and stuff like that. That ended up being the minority of the entire stadium, of the Battlehawk fans that were there. But you know what? They're salty that we beat them. I get it, I guess. I don't know. But you know what? I will say, from what I was kind of disappointed at was the Brahma fans that I saw on our side of the dome, on, you know, kind of in the mix of all the people. There's a lot of yellow in there. I did not want to see that side of yellow stand up on defense, yell, cheer. I didn't hear anything coming from that side. And, you know, that was, you know, I was upset with that because you're here at this game. You got to be active. I mean, we were in the end zone. We were yelling and screaming and doing as much as we can. But, I mean, my God, you got to freaking yell and cheer. This is the damn championship. You got to get after it. And I didn't see it from the Brahma fans that I saw that were sitting over there on that sideline.
I will say too that even just in the experience in general, not considering the Battlehawk fans, it was very, very heavy USFL. Even just inside Jumbotron, they I could probably count on like one hand how many times they actually featured Brahma fans. It was
Wow.
Or
it was
Brahms graphics.
yeah,
Wow.
it
That's
was
big.
it was it was Battlehawks, it was Birmingham 80, 90, 95% of the time. They were
That's
not
wow.
featuring it. I mean, it was here and
They
there.
they ignored us altogether.
Especially the ones like I know, like, yeah, we're the original Bulls on Tour crew, but not even like it was. They barely came. The only time they really featured us is when we were all so upset that the ejected player from Birmingham never got ejected. They walked him to the tunnel at the
I saw
entrance.
that. I saw a sign and
He was
autograph.
he was signing autographs. Then they walked him back in. Well, they walked our guy, which given he should have been. I mean, the amount of issues that we've had with number
With
one.
Bryce,
Yeah.
Yes,
he's a
Yeah.
hot.
he
He's a
should have.
hothead.
He lets
So
them get under his skin.
he,
But
you know what happened with Sternberger? He got ejected, and he just stayed
Sternberger.
on the sidelines. He never left that when he first got ejected when they got into it, and then like two plays later, like he walks onto the field and starts talking trash with one of our players. That's when the refs were like, "What is this guy doing here?" And so they pushed him off, and then he just went into the tunnel.
Onto the edge.
Yeah, I guess technically he was
right at
outside
the
the
entrance.
play, so he technically left the field because he was in the tunnel, but he was just signing autographs in that tunnel. And I
You're
mean,
supposed to
that
you're
was the
supposed to go to the
only
dressing
time.
room though.
That
You're
was the
supposed
only
to, yeah.
time that a cameraman came to us and he looked to see what we were yelling at. He looked at the player, then he starts filming us and he's hearing us kick him out or get him out, get him out. And we were yelling at the ref the entire time and he's recording us. And so they put us on the Jumbotron, and he goes, "I got you guys." Because I think he understood too, like how upset we were.
Yep.
And he ended up walking back out like right at the end when they were kneeling to. And you know what? I'm okay with that because they were about to go run on the field and celebrate the championship.
No, he got ejected. He got to stay out.
No,
Man.
he like
gotta
when you
stay
get
out.
I agree.
ejected, like you
gotta
can't
stay in
be
the locker
part
room.
of it.
Back to the locker room. Back to the locker room.
You can't leave the locker room. You celebrate in the locker room, but don't celebrate on the
Can't
field.
go on the field.
You're off the field. Like you lost that
You ejected
privilege.
from the game. You gotta
Yeah.
go.
I got something else too that really ticked me off. I get it. We understood that Birmingham won. The game was not over, and they were still setting up to play the next play, and their team decided that that's when they were going to do their Gatorade, and they were on the field, and the refs did nothing about it. But yet we had one guy. You're going to call 12 men on the field, but you just had a whole team, regardless if we were winning, we were losing or not. They were on the field.
Well, and then there
During the
was
play.
also
That's
there was
crazy.
also
During the play.
an interception that they had that one of our offensive linemen was able to tackle the defender who was running it back, and the Birmingham bench is cleared. And I'm like, how is that okay? He did what he was supposed to do.
Oh, you're talking about on
And
the
so-
fumble, like the last play of the first half, right? Where,
Yeah, like
fumble where they went back and
the bench is
offensive
the bench is the Birmingham bench cleared and went on the field, and nothing was thrown, despite benches clearing for what is a legal play and when there's a turnover. It's supposed to let him run through the end zone. Hey, ole, go ahead. Like no, that's not how it's supposed to be. I mean, to answer Wayne's question, what we were all pointing at is we just wanted it called down the middle. So if our guy's getting escorted off the field by security, why does homeboy from the Stallions get to go to sign autographs in the tunnel? It's just it wasn't fair. And then not to mention
Go ahead.
I was saying after the game, and this again is just something that Stallions fans like. Come on now, there was multiple Stallions fans that came over to where our buses were, where our fans were when we were greeting the players as they were coming out. Came up to me and they asked me, "Hey, is number 1 Thompson? Is he out yet?" And we're like, "Well, he's already on the bus." They're like, "Oh, well, can you get him off the bus? And I'm like, and I asked him, I was like, why? Do you want to greet him or do you want to say something to him? And I said, well, we just want to say he's a piece of trash and that he's playing like a little, I won't say the words. I don't want to get, any violations or anything. But I was like, fellas, you realize you're talking to a professional football player who's angry as it is, just lost a championship. You're surrounded by security and police. Things can get ugly very quickly. And you're wearing the opposite of the opposing team. I don't think that's a good idea. And their response was, well, I'm not going back in the dome. And I'm like, you know what? If you want to go ahead and deal with the consequences and maybe make it out with some, unfortunate outcomes for you, be my guest, go right ahead. But I warned y'all, and I just left it at that. Meanwhile, as I'm walking back to the van, there was a Stallions player that was talking to a couple Battlehawks fans that they pulled me aside, and they're like, hey, check it out. And he was wearing this championship hat. And, I looked at him just kind of like, oh, yeah. And it took a lot out of me, because they were like, oh, he's a player. And I'm like, yeah, I could tell. Great. But it took a lot out of me. But I held my hand out and I said, congratulations. And I left it at that. I didn't go and say like, dude, I want to just tackle you right now. And, you suck and this and that. No, I wasn't going to do all that. Mm-hmm. I showed respect. The better team won that day. He was part of the better team. And at the end of the day, and we actually had a conversation about this, me and that player from Birmingham, next year, the talent pool is all going to be mixed into one. This is no more XFL, USFL. That was just for this year. Next year, it's UFL talent. So whatever players don't get brought back by their teams, there's going to be one talent pool. So for all we know, that player may very well be a Brahma next year. We don't know. That's the uncertainty of this league, is that you never know who's coming back, who's it going to be, and that might very well be a Birmingham player might end up on the Brahmas roster next year because it's all one talent pool.
Yeah. Oh, he said that was DeMarcus Gates. Yeah, he a cool guy. He's a journeyman for spring football. But anyway, a little long-winded. I know I did talk about the presentation from home, watching it at home. But yes, it wasn't transparent because when I'm on Facebook and stuff and I'm looking through these groups and all these in the comments and all that, and I see like, oh, it's going to be XFL versus USFL, or oh, it's going to be the Battlehawks fans and DC Defenders fans, they all going to cheer for the Brahmas. Is this going to be all of us together as one against the USFL? It wasn't like that, and everybody could see that because when I first heard them come out, I was like, wait, they booing?
They're booing. Yep.
Are they booing? Like you can hit it on TV. I'm like, are they booing? Really? Yep. That's crazy. But I was surprised by that for one. And then like I know that we didn't, obviously the better team won, so got it out the way. We all know before this merger, on the XFL side, we're gonna be honest. On the XFL side, the XFL's baby is the Battlehawks, right? On the USFL side, the USFL babies is the Birmingham Stallions, because of course they're back-to-back champions. Got it. Well, now 3-time champion. But anyway,
no, one-time champion. Nobody cares about championships.
That's true.
Anymore. All right.
But of course they are
one-time champion.
Period.
So of course they are like the best team in spring football. Got it. But I'm looking at the comments here, and everybody's saying how biased it is, and I definitely agree. The broadcast was on Fox. Fox owns pretty much damn near the whole part of the merger, which I think, that's my opinion. Even though they said it was half and half, honestly, I think Fox got more into it. And they got their hands more deeper into it than the XFL side. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the broadcast was on Fox. Birmingham, as y'all, and this just solidified my point because y'all was saying how much the broadcast inside the Jumbotron or the cameras inside the dome kept putting Stallions fans up there. They didn't put any Brahmas fans up there, like you said, 95% or whatever, and we was getting 5%. But it just shows how the league wants this league to go. Like, obviously, they want to shine a light on the Birmingham Stallions, where you got another team that's the underdog. You know, America loves the underdog story. They want to see the underdogs win, but
Mhm.
obviously it was set up for Birmingham to win. And again, I said like I said, the better team won. And there's a lot of things that we could pick from our performance, of course,
Mhm.
like the Garbers and the quarterback play, offensive struggles, play calling,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it, coaching. We got our coach, got it. But it just felt like to me when I watched it, it just felt like they made it so that the Birmingham could get the shine and make it seem like they're the top dogs, they're the American story, they're the headlines of spring football, which I don't agree with because I if I could put my money on it, I could probably bet that if the championship it was here in San Antonio, we probably would have had around the same amount of numbers, and we probably would have been louder, and it probably would have been a better game. Stallions, they didn't. One thing I did notice is when the Stallions played here week 9, they didn't. They couldn't hear. They even said on the camera, "I can't hear the play." You know what I'm saying? In St.
Mhm.
Louis, if you got fans booing the Brahmas, more than likely they're not yelling on the defense for the Stallions. So they
Nope.
I mean on
They
offense for the
weren't.
Stallions.
They were yelling on
So
our
they
offense.
could hear their play and everything. So it was like if you think about it, it was like an away game for the Stallions in the USFL side because they don't have no
Mhm.
crowd. We were the loudest crowd that they had, and they lost the game. So
Yeah.
it was always we was always under the gun from the
Oh,
beginning.
and
I feel like it was going to be an uphill battle for us, anyways. Just the way everything was with the game. I do think, and I think you said it a couple times, EJ. I don't think that the bias, the officiating, everything is the reason we lost. We straight up got outplayed. If everything would have been even par, I still think we would have lost because we played like crap. So that's not saying
No denying
well
it.
we were robbed. We should have won that game. Blah blah blah. We had an uphill battle. So
yeah.
Yep.
But
I
I will say. Oh, I'm sorry, Jackie. Go ahead.
No, I do want to make a point from Havel because he did show me this before the game started.
yeah,
Um, on his phone. So most of us were down. I mean, okay, I didn't see anything else that showed Brahmas or
No,
yellow or anything
we
like that.
we were
So
there
we
90 minutes before
yeah, we were there 90 minutes
kickoff,
before. So when they walked in, he took a picture of the Jumbotron. It said 2024 UFL Championship.
and we
And
never saw.
it was Birmingham colors.
yeah.
Even in the graphic part, it had the stallion
Are
already
you
on it.
serious?
This
Yeah,
is
no,
before
yeah.
the game started.
It
He has
it
the
did,
picture.
but because I mean, you
I
guys
didn't
know
see a
me.
yellow one or a Brahma
Yeah,
one.
I was like, well, maybe
That could have been
maybe
done.
they were testing out the graphics to make sure they worked, but
And
they
that
never
could have been
tested.
done
They
right.
never tested the Brahmas one. So
Yeah,
They
we
could
were
have
there
done
for
it
90
before we
minutes.
got there.
We
We
were there
don't
for
know.
90
We weren't
minutes.
there.
Well, I was 90 minutes ahead. I mean, you're talking about when you guys walked in, when you guys finally sat down. We had been there. The only thing that was on the Jumbotron was 2024 championship, and it was in black and white, and it was because I have it on video, and that was the thing that was playing. And then it had the scoreboard, and then the countdown clock.
Could there have been a period in which you guys had left the field
I
before
mean,
Habo
yeah,
got
maybe.
in that they could have put it on?
no, well, when we
I'm-
were on the field, no, because we saw y'all
I
walk
said
in.
after.
No, well, then
Oh
it would
yeah,
have been.
we did because we saw where you guys were sitting. Because
Yeah.
at first I remember seeing Captain with his boa and everything. I'm like, oh, they're over there. That's where we're sitting. Y'all were
Okay.
already sitting down while we were
Yeah,
still on the
yeah.
field.
Walk in and sit down.
Okay.
But I just wanted to point that out because you're right. I didn't see.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything else. But
And I'm just saying, like, I'm not big on too many conspiracy theories, right?
No.
There are some that I buy into because they're interesting. It could have just been a mistake on the graphics people's part. It could, in fact, be set up. It seems kind of a stretch because really, what are you going to gain, right? This is not necessarily an NFL game. Yeah, there was 1.5 million eyes on this game at one point in time. But what does that really translate into for money for Birmingham to actually win when they don't have more than, supposedly I think their biggest crowd was 10,000, which I think that's not true at all.
But even then, I don't think attendance matters anymore. Like, I don't care what Battlehawks say anymore. Your attendance doesn't mean crap. None of that means anything unless you show up and you support. Period.
Just
Yeah.
imagine if the game was here in San Antonio, it was the Stallions versus the Battlehawks, and then we was in the crowd booing the Stallions.
Hmm.
You know how much backlash we would get for doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
just
mean, how
crazy.
much he got backlash just for doing it?
Do you see what I'm
I,
saying? Even for doing
yeah.
the little Arlington thing, he got booed and all that. But you know what I'm saying? Like the backlash that we would get for booing Battlehawks, man. But that's the XFL's baby, so they bring the attendance. That's all they care about. They bring the attendance.
Yeah, no, I mean it was I mean the presentation in general definitely felt like we were the redheaded stepchild of, all this. It was not sure. I'm not I mean it felt like that. It definitely seemed like there was clear favoritism. And at this point, I gave the benefit of the doubts with the refereeing, the officiating for the first, I'd say, 5 weeks of the season. And I'm in the championship game complaining about the same stuff that I was complaining about week one. I think that's something that needs to be looked at and reevaluated next year. These are refs that I want them to do well. I want them to have the opportunity to go to the next level. 'Cause I know they're also fighting for a chance to get NFL eyes on them. And from what I saw this year, I don't know that. I mean, I know there's one that got NFL attention. But outside of that, I mean, if I was the NFL, I would not be looking at the refs that we had this season in general. I mean, from beginning to end, I never saw an improvement. It was a consistent
Yeah.
like the this is equal, and everyone like consistently was down here,
Mhm.
and I never saw it really peak upwards and get better and improve. The first 5 weeks, I was like, it's a new league, they're trying to figure it out. And so I think that's something that needs to be evaluated,
Mhm.
honestly, as a fan, because it is frustrating. And I kept on saying, I don't want it to come down to refereeing, don't want to come down to that. But there was so much missed stuff. And then it also didn't help when, we're screaming, eject the player, get him off the field, and the ref looks back at us and just is giving us
He
a smile.
he is literally like right where the goalpost is. He is just standing right there, like in the end zone. He can hear us. He
Yeah.
saw us.
And he's
He
smiling.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. And he didn't do anything.
Well, I
Like,
don't
it
know
was
that he
wild.
smiled. I think he looked back and saw us and was like, "Oh," and then just turned around because he was kind of
No, I saw
not sure what to do.
I saw the smile. But at this point, like I said, it is what it is. Like, we exceeded all expectations that everyone had of us this season, and all we can do is regroup, rebuild, and we have the some of the let's talk about some of the positives here that have come out. We have offensive lineman Cole Laval just got signed by the Jets.
Yep.
We
More
have
to come.
Jake Bates, Chuck Norris, the kicker. He's staying in Detroit with the Lions.
Yep.
There's a lot of good things now that are gonna be coming for these players, and this is what this opportunity is all about. Or this is what the league's all about is creating those opportunities for these players, and it's starting to come to fruition. And there's been a lot of news and information that has come out from Moose Johnston himself, saying we're not relocating any teams, we're not expanding any teams. We're looking to build upon what we already have. And one of the quotes that they have him he said is that there's a lot of markets, and I know we're one of the markets that he's talking about when he said this. Is there's a lot of markets that we have that they have gotten spring football, they have invested into the team, they have embraced the team, and then the team left, or in this case folded, really, but the team ceased to exist in their city. So they need to really work on building the trust and building relationships locally in their markets. And he said, we've been planning this for 9 months for 2025. So they're already been planning all this, and they have already started for preparing for next season and wanting to continue to build relationships and build it in their markets so they can really solidify that. And then maybe we look at expansion. but I think we have to really cement what we have first and build upon what has been started this year and really build fan confidence. Because at this point, I don't want to hear a single word about the damn Commanders but the Commanders. We have 2 seasons under our belts, one of which is a championship season. The Commanders are done. They're gone. That's history.
People just need to show up, bro.
Like it's like they're not going anywhere. There's already a season 3 that we're gonna be getting ready for. And it's time to put up or shut up. The league is doing everything they can to be prepared for next season. And they really want to make sure that they execute it as flawlessly as possible, because he did say, at the beginning of the season, it was 7 days out and they barely started selling tickets in Memphis and in Houston. 1 week before the home opener. Well, of course you're not going to do well when you only have a week's notice.
Michigan too.
Right. So just like Moose said, they've got initiatives that they plan on rolling out this next season. What that means for us is that we're not going to take, very much time off ourselves, right? We're going to take a little bit of time to rest and relax and regroup with our family and friends and kind of, re-energize and revitalize. And then we're going to be getting back after it just like we did last year, just like we did the year before. Your Horns Forward podcast is going to be coming out with some events in the near future. Start looking for some stuff probably a couple of weeks from now. Fair, right? We're gonna jump right back on the horse and we're gonna ride it and we're gonna keep doing our thing, right? What that means for you guys is an opportunity for you to now go to your friends who, as Jorge had said, but the Commanders this, but the Commanders that. No. We've got 2 seasons now under our belts. Yeah. We have a championship under our belt, right? This is a team that is not going anywhere. It's going to stay. Help us do your part. Start spreading the word. I went and donated blood today and was talking to a lady at the donation center because I actually wore a Brahma shirt to the donation. And she was like, oh, yeah, I know about the Brahmas and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, would you have season tickets? And she's like, well, no. Call my guy, James Carr. Right. Well, our guy, James Carr. I can't take credit for him myself. Right. He's all of ours now. And he was before. Like he inherited me. Poor guy. Start spreading the word. Start letting people know, hey, man, there's season ticket reps that will be more than glad to talk to you and find a plan that is going to work for you. Moose Johnson said it himself this season at the town hall. Give them one game. One game. I'm also going to throw out a shameless plug. I would say arguably our game against Birmingham was probably one of the best games that we had as far as announcing and fan interaction and everything like that. If you like that experience, make sure you're asking for Milton Hope to take over the announcing duties at the Alamo Dome. He's the voice of the UTSA Roadrunners. Yep. He does tons of sporting events all across the city. He's very well known, and he knows how to work a crowd.
Okay? He said no to Cone too, so just so you know.
Huh?
He said no to Cone. I saw him in the comments on Facebook. He said no to Cone.
100%. This guy knows football talent.
Yeah,
he's been in broadcasting for over 30 years. This guy knows what he's doing, right? So you want to make the experience better for the fans, bring Milton Hope in to announce, right? Fans, do your part. Start sharing this information with your friends around you. Start buying tickets. You can get really good prices. Get your people in for just one game. Give us one game.
Absolutely.
Okay? And make sure that you're keeping your eyes peeled on the Horns Forward podcast. And there's probably going to be some other groups that are going to be doing stuff also, but I can only speak to our group because this is our group. But we're going to get right back on it. We're going to continue to keep pushing. We need you guys to do your part too, though.
Yeah, no, and just so you guys know, like, was it 2022? Just to kind of give you guys the journey of what this has been. I heard XFL San Antonio. I said, I'm all in. From the very beginning, I remember getting laughed at when I said that. They're like, this is a clown league. Like, this isn't going to last. Again, it's another Commanders. Now I got to go on the field before the championship game, which was incredible. We got to travel all over the country. to where we have friends in almost every city. I mean, we got people in Birmingham now. We haven't had the opportunity to go to Michigan and meet the community up there just yet. That'll probably happen next year, though. Same with Birmingham. But ultimately, this is something that I'm going to treasure for the rest of my life. Is I was able to get my hands on a game-used ball for the championship game that the Brahmas played with. And that is going to be probably my most prized possession as far as sports memorabilia. And so to go from being laughed at because I said I want to be part of XFL San Antonio to where I'm at today, where we're all at today, if you really buy into this whole, it's the opportunity of, it's where dreams and opportunities come together. If you really believe in it and push for it, it can really happen because I'm living proof that happened.
It's happened for all of us. Every one of us has a special memory because of this season that wouldn't have been possible had it not been for the effort that we put forth with this podcast and just the connections that we've made and the memories that we've shared. DJ?
I will remember one thing that I do not, it can be cussed.
Yes.
No.
Go ahead, Paul.
I do not fuck with the Battlehawks no more. Just know that.
Oh, yeah.
I do not fuck with them
Only
no more. They might as well just go over to the
Some of them
USFL
are
conference,
fans.
give us Houston back. Take them over there, give us Houston back.
I'm good with that. Trade them to the USFL and give us Houston. I'm good with that.
If you want to be cheering for Birmingham, go right on ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, go play with the Stallions and the Panthers and the Showboats. Y'all are closer to them anyways. Give us Houston back.
Yeah, we want Houston back. We'll take Houston back.
But also, I will mention, y'all remember it's spring football. There's a lot of holidays. Football happens during the weekends. Please expect that our games will land on holidays.
Yeah.
It's going to happen every year, every season.
Every year.
So don't complain when it lands on Easter, Fiesta, Mother's Day, Father's Day. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Unless they add a Friday and they shift things around, it's going to happen.
They're going to be adding Friday games this next year, so
hopefully they can avoid the holidays. But if it happens, it's spring football.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is. And I know, look, people always say, well, the NFL does Thanksgiving and they do Christmas. We're not the NFL.
Yeah.
All right. The NFL has 100 years plus on the UFL. And they have, we have 8 teams. They have 32. They have literally 24 more teams and $1 billion that they make annually. This is an upstart league. It's a gamble, and but right now the gamble has been paying off. We're 2 weeks in. We're 2 years in. And I know for me, it's been definitely gotten a return on my investment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And to Jackie's point, I think that was one of the biggest, I know they said the attendance officially was 27,000 this year. They're lucky if there was 15,000 in that dome. Yeah. So that was paid tickets and everybody trying to resell it didn't show up. But yeah, one of the reasons it's Father's Day. People want to spend time. You know what? I've been a dad for 22 years now. And for those 22 years, I've been saying, you know what? I wish that there was NFL football or I wish there was football on Father's Day because there's nothing says Father's Day more than sitting around watching football games. Right. So you want to take your dad to a special Father's Day treat, you should have taken him to the championship game. So
I took my kids.
I took my mom last year to the championship game on Mother's Day. That was my time with her. We went. Yeah. That was my thing. Where I was we're going to championship. Happy Mother's Day, and we went together. So you can make the best out of it, or you can sit and complain with everyone else. Because at the end of the day, you can still enjoy Father's Day with your entire family. You can enjoy Mother's Day with your entire. You can enjoy Easter with your entire family watching football after church. You can make arrangements if you really wanted to. So
stupid excuses. So
it is.
I watch football with my kids, so
I know. Yeah. I mean, I'll probably catch some flack for this. I mean, as far as these past 2 weeks, they were very difficult for me to be able to. I wanted to be in St. Louis, and this past weekend obviously was Father's Day, and as much as I would have loved to have my family up there with me, financially, it just was not feasible, you know. And it actually, everything happens for a reason, because at this point now, between my garage breaking, my car having to pay 2 deductibles now, the money that I would have had to spend on tickets just to fly them up there has now been spent on emergencies. So I get it. You know, it worked out for a reason. But at the same time, the week before, my car got broken into, and I thought my St. Louis trip was going to be canceled. And my wife actually surprised me with airplane tickets to go, because she knew how much it meant to me, and that was her choice. I was already saying I'm not going, you know, like it
Well, tell them what day that was also for you.
it was my anniversary, you know, it was my wedding anniversary, and she knows how much it meant to me. She knows how sad I was, not just because I wasn't able to go, but because just the bad luck that I had. But I mean, I'm not saying skip important life events for this stuff, but if the opportunity arises and you're like, and you have the chance to go and the support from your family to go, and you want to go, like,
wife.
go.
Wife.
Like that. I mean, my wife is
My
the
wife would definitely
MVP.
let me go.
My wife is the MVP. I mean, the fact that she went, she's like, I know how much this means to my husband. Like, let me do this for him. And I was like, please don't do this. And she was insistent. She's like, no, you're going. Like, that's it. Like, I'm like, she was like, you need to go. So I went, and I enjoyed it. You know, it was a great experience. I've never been to St. Louis, and I've been 3 weekends in a row. But, you know, with that being said, I think it's time, you know, that for a little bit, we're going to hang up the podcasting mics for a little bit, just to kind of take a break. We have some holidays to catch up on with our families. But, you know, I wouldn't trade a second of that for the world. I mean, I missed my anniversary, but there was, I'm still married to my wife. You know, I could celebrate my anniversary tomorrow if I wanted to. Father's Day, you know, I got back last night at 9:00. Guess what? I woke up. I'm still a dad. I just gave us before this podcast, I bathed my son. I'm still a dad. And in fact, you know what? Before I even left, he even made me this hat right here. It says, "I love you, Dad." He made that at school. And this means the world to me, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm still a dad. And today, when I was telling him that, you know, son, there's no more Brahmas games. You know, we have to wait till next year. He was like, "Oh man," like he would want to go to a Brahmas game too. It was just something that was it really brought our family together. And it's an experience that I wouldn't trade for the world. And it's like I tell everybody, and I will beat this horse as much as I have to. Give us one game and you'll want to come back for more. I have told that to so many people, and everybody who came out this season and came to a game, I'm batting 1,000 because they're repeat customers.
To back up what Jorge's saying, I brought my girls to their first Brahmas game this year. Now I have to get season tickets for them. Okay.
In section 108, though.
Yeah, 100%.
One over to 108, brother.
No.
They're
going to
108. They're going to 108.
Yeah, but I
They're
have also
with their aunties, Auntie Jackie and Auntie Nay.
Yep.
We don't need to babysit. Them girls are good. They are good.
Oh, they're rowdy. You actually have to keep an eye on them because they do get a little bit passionate like their dad.
Oh yeah.
Was it Zoe sitting next to me, man? She was going off and she was joining me, screaming Adrian, and you know that and I will say I have had people that have told me that they bought season tickets to UTSA for the college football season. And they bought them specifically. I don't know why, because I'm not going to be there. But they bought them specifically in section 108 because they want to see can UTSA replicate what the Brahmas have built in 108. And I'm like, probably not, but we'll see. Know, I hope they do. I mean, I wish nothing but the best for UTSA. They supported us, and we had one of their players on the roster.
Mayfield Dream.
It's Yeah, we'll see if maybe there's a 108 going on in at the UTSA games. That was we'll see. It's interesting to see how the city's going to shift now, going into college football, going in the NFL. Because I mean, it's like I said before, the UFL honestly has as much. I love my Packers, always will, but this league has ruined the NFL because I honestly have had more fun watching these games, attending these games, watching them on TV. I get more invested, and there's games in the NFL where third quarter I'm like, I'm gonna change it. This game's over. You can't leave a UFL game because it can always come out to the outcome at the very last 2 minutes and just completely change. So it leaves you at the edge of your seat. It's different. It's beautiful. It's fun. And again, I want this league. I mean, yes, I want the Brahmas to survive, to do well, support. But at the end of the day, it's about the league, not about your team specifically. But when it comes to the events like this, it's about the league. We want to see the league grow and expand and continue to thrive. It's a year-round effort.
Right.
Wear your Brahma stuff. It's like next year, are the Packers going to make the Super Bowl? Probably not. But I'm still going to show up to a Super Bowl party wearing my Brahma stuff because I'm like, you know what? Super Bowl's over. That means spring football is just a month away.
And hopefully it started a week after this year.
I'll be wearing my Cowboys gear to a Super Bowl party because it's our year. So
It's always your year.
Wait a minute. You need to stop. I thought you were
was
realistic
vintage.
with me.
Cowboys.
So,
my Lord.
But speaking of
Making us all
stopping,
look bad.
speaking of stopping, we probably should come to a stopping point tonight. But folks, don't forget to like and follow us for updates, right? We're definitely going to be coming out with some events. Back to school drive is a big one. We want to make sure that we keep supporting that. We're most likely going to do probably another Halloween event. Maybe even go, a little bit bigger, maybe do a Thanksgiving thing this year. I mean, who knows, right? We haven't had a chance to really talk. We literally just got back from a 700-mile trip yesterday.
24 hours ago.
Less than 24 hours ago.
Yes,
We got back,
we and you're welcome, by the way. No, I'm kidding. It isn't because of me. It was
Thank
Jesse.
you.
No.
Jay and Jesse. No, you both did the drive. They both took turns up and going up there and coming back and drove us safely up and back to. Well, I mean, y'all all knocked out. Stop it.
No,
They were all
just accept it,
like
man.
babies.
Yeah.
Just accept it.
We arrived in the exact same shape.
You're alive, but did you die?
There was a lot of
die?
dead people.
Well, I almost did today, but that's a different story.
I say it was a lot of dead
But
people
that was your
photos.
own. It wasn't because he was driving though.
Okay, all I'm taking credit for is being a control freak and not wanting anybody else to drive. That's all I'm going to take credit for.
Yes, as you should.
Because that's
as many
100%
times as I offered.
I saw a lot of dead people
Yes.
photos from the trip. A lot of y'all was in
There-
like this.
There were more than one ghost in that van.
Jorge was like with his mouth open. I swear, if I caught him again, I was gonna throw pickle in his mouth. No joke.
What? No Diddy.
Okay,
No,
okay.
no Diddy. Just because
Back on
of it.
track. Thank you for
Or
that.
eggplant. Throw an eggplant in his mouth.
But like and follow us, right, for updates. It's going to be awesome stuff. Jesse, again, thank you, man, for being such an incredible pilot. It was a lot of fun. Also, right, we are going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus here, but we are going to continue. BD and I will continue to talk on Texans Talking Football. We're actually going to be going live tomorrow night because we made adjustments to make sure that we had this show tonight. And we will have guest appearances from people popping in and stuff like that. So you will definitely see members of the Horns Forward podcast. You may even see the whole Horns Forward podcast, and we just do a takeover. Who knows? But Texans Talking Football, we talk more about football in general from a Texas perspective. We've got a lot of Texans here, so it's going to be a lot of good stuff to talk about. But in the meantime, again, shameless plug, make sure you like and follow us for updates and everything. And while we
don't forget our little our AFN.
Oh yeah, shout out to our friends over at the AFN Network, right? Mike G and Matt, and well, really everybody else that's kind of involved with AFN also.
Make sure you like and follow them also.
Yes.
All coaching, so I'll definitely be tapped out.
But hey, Hell
Can I
of a
get the
season,
last?
guys.
Can I
Hell
get
of
the
a
last
season.
shameless plug?
Thank you.
Yes, do it.
All
Thank
right.
you. You coming to the games,
Wait, what games?
Jackie?
Oh,
Okay.
I'm
football
definitely
games.
going to try and make one this
Play
season.
football games.
Yeah, I
Who?
want
Oh,
to see your boy blow it up.
absolutely.
Not games.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah,
send us the times, bro. We may
Yeah.
all show
Give me
up.
that
for sure, for
schedule.
sure.
I won't
For
show up in a
I got my
traje in the
tailgate
middle,
gear.
That's
but
cool. That's cool.
We're gonna
but
tailgate.
but you
That's
know
cool. Hey,
what?
we'll do that too. Tailgate. That'll be dope. Actually, let me know.
Hey,
Okay.
if you guys can tailgate, let me know. I'll bring the plancha cook tacos for everybody.
Yeah, I let them know.
And you know what? Final shameless plug as a 2-time inductee into the Big D Energy Club. Don't forget to drink your Zoa. You know,
Oh
does the
my
body
God.
good. All right.
Okay. If we're going to do that, then you need to give a shout out to the most recent inductee.
Yes.
The
Twice.
2-time in
And
one game.
and one
Two-time
game
in
at
one
a
game.
championship game.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, and it's two of them. It's two of
Wait,
them.
Jackie?
Right?
No,
No.
Ooh.
not
Give
me.
a shout out to Brahma Babe, but also to the
Ooh.
apple of my eye, baby, little Zoe.
Zoe.
Ooh.
Zoe representing
Twice.
Zoa, baby.
Twice.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to hang that up, Jorge.
Right there.
Yep.
And, oh
Hang it
yeah,
up.
and he knighted her. He knighted her.
Yep.
But at the end of it, guys, a hell of a season. At the end of the
Absolute
day,
class. You know what?
we made a championship. We
Yeah.
got to the championship when we didn't think we were. I get goosies right now because just talking about it. We
Yep.
did not. We literally started from the bottom,
Yeah.
and we made it here. So thank you to the Brahmas team for all your freaking hard work, coaches, staff, everybody.
Even
Y'all
even
made
you,
this
Clayton.
season.
Fans
Yeah,
in the
even you,
comments.
Clayton.
Not
Yeah,
fans.
the
I'm
fans.
Everybody.
Family in the comments. Family in the comments.
Exactly.
Family,
Family.
our Bramilia. Yes, thank you
And
to everybody that went to watch parties. That if you did anything that was Brahma related, just to spread the word, thank
Welcomed us
you.
at tailgates, treated us like family
Yes.
at away games. All of you guys. Nothing but love for every single one of you, man.
And you know what?
Jeremy.
And big shout out to Cole Laval. Just got signed by the Jets. Congratulations to him. He's the first Brahma to get signed to an NFL team.
Probably not
So
the last, unfortunately for us, but good for them. You know.
Yes,
We'll
yeah,
post,
you
we'll
know,
post on the page too.
Yes.
Okay.
Go
Yeah,
live that
you know.
dream, baby. Go live that
Yeah.
dream.
as people continue to get signed, we
We'll
will
post.
definitely let you know.
Yep.
Also, best of luck to our Lord and Savior John Parker Romo up in Minnesota doing his thing.
Your Lord and Savior.
You
I'm
just
sorry.
say Lord and
that.
Savior. Oh my God.
The only one I recognize is this guy.
That is the Lord and Savior.
No,
Touchdown, Jesus.
and also, the players who have retired, Cody Latimer.
Thank
Wish
you,
you the
Cody.
best of luck.
Thank you, Cody.
And
Thank
whatever
you.
you decide to do next. You'll always have a home here in San Antonio. And same for, I don't know if he's going to be coming back. I know Ryan Santoso, our kicker, he had said that he wants to pursue aviation. So he may be going that route and not coming back to football. I don't know. And then also to our guy Destroying. I had an opportunity to speak with him. Said his
Ooh,
neck's
did you?
feeling good. Yeah, I had a good conversation with him. And he said, his neck's feeling good. He didn't post it. I know he posted a video of him kicking a 60-yarder and a backflip, but he also had mentioned to me that he didn't post a video, but he did kick a 70-yarder. While he was filming that other video with a 60-yarder. So, he's still got the leg. He's not sure if he's going to be coming back to play football. He would love to. It all just depends on how he feels. It also depends on, making sure the bills are paid. I don't know if you saw one of the most recent videos. His business as a YouTuber did take a hit, which I completely understand as a content creator. So, hopefully we see him back, but regardless, he's always going to be Brahma no matter what. And let's keep on wishing the best of luck to all the UFL players and especially our Brahmas who are taking the next step and getting their opportunities in the UFL. And then I know we have a couple guys that are already in the UFL from last year. Was it
You mean the NFL?
Or I'm sorry, yeah, the NFL with the Seahawks. Okiki.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, he's out there. he's getting ready to train up for them again. Come back to the Seahawks, do well. And-
What's your comment still on the Seahawks too? Defensive tackle. Can't think of his name. God, he had a brain fart. Sorry.
But yeah. So with that being said, I think we're definitely well over our time, but
Yep.
we're gonna
Oh,
It's
Matt,
a-
Matt
it's-
Gotel. Matt Gotel. Matt Gotel.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
There you
Matt,
go.
Matt Gotel. And I know we are going to take some time off, spend some time with our families. I have not seen my parents since February, but we will be back. Yeah, Matt Gotel. He's out there training hard for the Seahawks. And same thing. There you go. Like Jeremy said,
Look,
Cowboys
don't
have
listen to
already.
anything. Look, Jeremy's only good for UFL. When it comes to NFL, Eagles.
Richard, don't worry. Right, like I said, we're just taking a
Yeah,
little
Christian.
break, just a
Yeah.
couple of weeks, so we can rest and relax and rejuvenate. We will be back in the meantime.
12
Right.
weeks was tough.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
be back in a few weeks. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna be gone till like the start of the season. Just
No,
give-
no,
give
it's
us-
just-
I'm
give
gonna
us a
be
couple
working on
weeks
the players.
catch our
I'm gonna be,
breath.
I'm gonna
BD
be
and
working
I
on
are-
those players.
Right.
Getting some
BD and I are
people
going to
on the
continue
show.
to carry the torch on Texans Talking Football. Everybody here is going to pop in at least twice, maybe 3 times, just because I'm going to con them all into doing it in some way, shape, or form. But we're
Sure.
still going to keep going. So just keep watching the page for updates. Maybe we don't do
Yeah.
a show every week, but there's always going to be something coming out. We're always going to keep you guys abreast of everything that's going on with us and what we hear about with the XFL and UFL just in general. So
absolutely.
with
Yeah.
that, maybe we'll
Hey.
even have some surprises next season, but there will be a season 3.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
I
the
mean,
year of us.
This
And,
is the wrap of your 2024 XFL champion, San Antonio Brahmas. But you know what? 2025 is going to be a hell of a year.
And I also just
There you go.
I do also want to congratulate on a just came in a new contract extension direct from the Alamo Commission. They are extending DJ's contract to take care of the basement. So
We almost made it. We almost
There you
made
go.
it. We almost made it.
See, he turned off the lights in the basement there. So
with that-
was a
with
bad
that being
joke.
said, for this
Boo.
season, I
Now
believe
y'all about
it
to
is
get Chris
time
riled up. I'm sure he about to come
Close
to
the book.
you
in.
close
See,
the
told
book.
you, that was
Salud.
And
Salud.
salute to everybody. Horns
Take a little
forward.
shot, a little shot.
And
Cheers. Horns forward. Love you guys.
lights are coming out on this season, so
Yep.
we'll see y'all in a few weeks.
Jackie,
Adios.
shut her down.
Points forward.